Aperture is the boss of depth of field. Hey, it's me making a video even after 10 months of, doing other stuff, having life, moving into a new home, homeschooling 5 kids, having a happy marriage, running a full-time photo business. Yeah, just a couple things, no big deal, right?
So mine is a fixed 50mm lens.
I can adjust the aperture manually on this lens, which is really nice if I'm using it on a film camera, or I can also use it on a digital camera. It does have autofocus capabilities, which is also really nice. So I still use this lens even though it's older. It's pretty heavy for its size because it has real glass in it. That, my friends, is a big deal when it comes to lenses. You want really nice glass. A lot of times older lenses are the way to go. And if you can find ones that still have autofocus capabilities, that's also really, really nice for our modern age. Especially if you're photographing weddings and children and families and things like that, where you have things that are moving quickly. So definitely don't knock old lenses. The beautiful thing about Nikon and Canon is they have made, and I think some with Sony, I'm not totally sure on Sony 100%.
But there's always, what do you call them? Those things that attach.
Adapters, words, I know them. Yes, so the adapters can definitely help you if you have a lens that you love and you change, maybe if you change from Nikon to Sony or Leica, or just really all the different brands are out there, but you have a lens that you love, because that's the thing, the lens is the thing that's really taking the picture here. It is such a big deal when you are thinking about what you're going to take pictures of, right? If you're going to be taking pictures of people, then you really want a lens that can go to an f1.4. That might not be needed if you're doing products. You want to be able to see everything in the picture in your product, so you can get away with other style lenses in that aspect. So yeah, so the takeaway that I'm trying to give you here on these lenses is that the reason why they're so expensive is because of all the moving parts inside. The more leaflets that a lens has to create these apertures that you see, the more expensive it's going to be. If that aperture can maintain this wide openness, even if you have a zoom lens that has a wide aperture like this, and you can zoom in and out and still maintain this wide aperture, again, more working parts, more components in the lens itself, it's going to make it more expensive. So buy used, look at film lenses, look on eBay. If it can still capture light, if it can still do this with its aperture, if it can still focus, it's still usable, right? I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can tell you about Aperture, other than the fact that it is the boss of depth of field, and your lens itself is the boss of how beautiful your picture is going to turn out. Yes, you can change the shutter speed. Yes, you can change the ISO to compensate for your exposure. But a lot of times when you're thinking about your composition and how you want your photo to turn out in the end, you're going to want to be thinking about what type of lens you're going to use. So yeah, so the the 50mm lens is just a standard fixed lens. It's usually best compared to what we see visually with our own eyes. And it's just a really great place to start, because you have to physically move your body in order to zoom in. You have to physically move your body to zoom out and capture more what's in the frame. This is the frame right here. Frame. That just challenges you in a creative aspect to move your body like that. Zoom lenses are really great, especially for events or places where you cannot, like if you're photographing sports, or like I said, events, or just places where you cannot physically get your body closer to the object that you want to photograph, then you want to zoom. But if you can handle it, then You want to get yourself a fixed one. Now I'm shooting on a 35mm lens right now, so it's a little bit wider than the 50. Another popular one for portraits is 85. It would be a more narrow shot, but because you have to get further away from your subject, all of this stuff that's behind me would be even more blurred and creamy and milky looking because of that. So, you know, again, these are things to take into consideration. If you're starting out in photography, I really like renting lenses or borrowing from other people to try out to see what I want to buy first. But yeah, definitely don't knock film lenses for your digital camera. Older lenses, if you have a camera store nearby you, yeah, talk to the people in there. They really do know what they're talking about, and they can definitely guide you in the right direction. But the biggest challenge is probably figuring out what kind of pictures you want to take. So I hope you learned a little bit about this beautiful element of photography, the lens and its aperture. And you know what? If you like it, please subscribe, put a little ding on it there for me, so you get notifications, because subscribing itself is not enough these days apparently. And I'll see you next time. Yeah boy, photography.